This is the Nikon Z5 II, the long-awaited update to Nikon's budget full-frame mirrorless camera, launched at just $1,599. Now, the Z5 was already a bit of a dark horse, quietly offering great value for money, but does the Mark II version give us enough improvements to justify choosing it over other entry-level full-frame options like the Canon R8 or the Sony a7C Mark II? And how does it hold up in real-world shooting, from stills to wildlife and even video? I'm Olivia from Wilkinson Cameras, and I must say before we get into the video that I am full of a cold. Hay fever is really kicking off at the moment in the UK, and yeah, ignore the way that I look and the way that I sound, but let's dive into everything you need to know: the specs, the build, the real-world experience, and ultimately who this camera is actually for. And don't forget that if you're in the UK, you can buy a range of Nikon cameras and lenses from us. We have plenty of stores dotted around the north of England, so make sure to come and say hi and visit our friendly staff. I'll pop all the links to all the products I mentioned in today's video in the description box below. So first off, what's actually new with the Z5 Mark II? Externally, it looks almost identical to the original Z5. That's because it shares the same body, but under the hood, there are a few upgrades. First, it now has dual EXPEED 7 processors, bringing it in line with Nikon's newer Z6 Mark III, ZA and ZF lines. Autofocus gets a huge boost, including better subject tracking and detection, including humans, animals and vehicles, with much better reliability in low light. You now get 30 frames per second continuous shooting compared to the Z5's sluggish 4.5 frames per second. There's a fully articulating screen rather than a tilting one, an improved video specs, 10-bit 4K external recording, oversampled 4K from a 6K readout, and significantly better rolling shutter performance. So on paper, it looks like Nikon have finally brought out their budget full-frame body up to modern standards. But how does that translate in actual use? So let's start with the sensor. It's built around the familiar 24.5 megapixel BSI CMOS sensor. Don't expect the latest stacked wizardry here, but do expect a mature, reliable imaging pipeline that delivers consistently excellent results for both stills and video. In real world use, the colours out of camera are very Nikon, rich, natural and forgiving. Skin tones look beautiful. The dynamic range is solid, but not Z8 levels, obviously, but I was able to recover lows from both shadows and highlights in RAW. Low light performance, usable up to ISO 6400, though you'll start to see some grain creeping in. Beyond that, I'd use noise reduction if you're not a fan of texture, but for a casual or even semi-pro shooter, this is more than enough. For stills, this sensor still holds up in 2025, especially when paired with a sharp prime like the Z35mm f1.8 or the 24mm f1.8. The sensor is not cutting edge, but it brings better readout speeds, improved image processing, and notably cleaner high ISO performance like I've just mentioned. It's the same sensor used in the Nikon ZF, so you can expect solid dynamic range and well-handled noise. Mechanical shutter bursts jump up to 11 frames per second in 14-bit RAW files, and you can also get 13 frames per second JPEG only with pre-capture, which is great for fast action or wildlife moments you usually miss. The original Z5 topped out at 4.5 frames per second, so this is a serious upgrade. Autofocus is one of the biggest areas where the Z5 Mark II steps things up. The original Z5 eye detection was okay. It was a bit slow and a hit or miss. The Z5 Mark II inherits Nikon's latest EXPEED 7 processor. Yes, the same one found in the Z8 and the Z6 Mark III. It brings along a significantly upgraded AF system with deep learning subject recognition. Beyond people and animals, the Z5 Mark II can now track birds, cars, bikes, planes and trains, and much more useful across a variety of genres than the original Z5 ever was. AFA mode also returns, letting the camera intelligently switch between single and continuous focus as your subject demands. For wildlife, we tested it with bird photography alongside Mark Ritson. Animal detection was fast and sticky. It tracked small birds mid-flight, which is not something I trust on the original Z5 to do this well. I also tested it on Sunday at Jake's Triathlon, and it kept up with all the speeds of all the athletes, and I was very, very impressed with the sharpness that I got from it. Also worth noting, it handles low light and backlit scenes far better than the first version. The AF doesn't hurt as much and it locks faster overall. Now onto video, and this is where the Z5 Mark II finally becomes a viable hybrid option. The original was capped at cropped 4K and 8-bit internal. The Z5 Mark II records oversampled 4K 30 from the full width of the sensor, so no cropping, and offers 4K 60 frames per second with a 1.5 times crop. It also offers HD 120 frames per second, so great for super slow motion. There's support for 10-bit external recording via N-Log and HLG, and internal N-RAW recording if you really want to push dynamic range in post-production. Waveform monitoring, zebra stripes, and dedicated product showcase AF mode show that Nikon's taking video creators more seriously this time around, even if there's still a little bit of rolling shutter to consider at high frame rates. One standout feature of the Z5 Mark II is its 5-axis in-body image stabilization, or IBIS, which offers up to 5 stops of shake reduction. This makes a big difference whether you're shooting handheld stills in low light or capturing smoother video footage without using a gimbal. It also means that you can pair it with non-VR lenses like fast primes and still get stabilization benefits, which really extends the versatility of the system for both photography and video. Now, the handling. This is classic Nikon. The grip is deep and comfortable even with longer lenses. It feels solid in the hand, more substantial than something like the Canon R8 and closer to the Nikon Z6 Mark II in terms of build. It's still fully weather sealed and is solidly built with magnesium alloy frame. You've got dual card slots, both UHS to SD, which is huge for a camera at this price point. You've also got headphone and microphone jacks, USB-C for charging and file transfers, and a micro HDMI port. You get dual control dials, a standard mode dial with 3 user settings, and plenty of customizable buttons, including 2 on the front near the lens mount. The joystick and touchscreen AF point control remain. New for the Z5 Mark II is the bright 3.2-inch fully articulating LCD screen, something vloggers, hybrid shooters and selfie fans will appreciate. It's a significant step up from the Z5 tilting screen. The 3.69mm OLED viewfinder hasn't changed in resolution or magnification, but it now boasts a peak brightness of 3000 nits. In real world use, that means it remains easily visible even in bright sunlight. Menus are classic Nikon, not always perfect, but once you set up your custom buttons and My Menu, it's fast and intuitive to use. The Z5 Mark II uses the same ENEL15 battery, and it lasted me all day shooting stills. Video obviously drains it faster, but I managed over an hour of continuous 4K before needing to recharge. There's also USB-C charging and data transfer, which is super handy in the field. Connectivity wise, you've got SnapBridge for quick smartphone transfers. It's not lightning fast, but it works. And Nikon's webcam utility if you want to use it for live streaming. So who's the Z5 Mark II actually for? If you're a beginner stepping into full frame, this is a phenomenal entry point, or somebody making the step across to mirrorless from a Nikon DSLR. If you're a hybrid content creator or someone upgrading from a crop sensor camera, you'll love the autofocus and video improvements. If you shoot portrait, travel, or even wildlife, this camera holds its own, especially paired with the right Z mount glass. If you're a pro needing 4K 60 full width, higher frame rates, or a stacked sensor, you'll want to look at the Z6 Mark III or the Z8. The Z5 Mark II doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it didn't need to. Nikon have kept everything that made the original great and fixed almost every weak point. You now get a truly well-rounded full-frame camera with solid image quality, vastly improved autofocus, better video, a great user experience, all at a price that undercuts a lot of the competition. The Nikon Z5 Mark II body only has launched at $1599. Kits are also available with the 24-50 f4 to 6.3 lens at $1859. with a 24-70 f4S lens at $2129, and with a 24-200mm f4 to 6.3 VR for just $2299. Let's talk about the Z5 Mark II's biggest rivals, Sony's EOS R8, Sony's aging but still relevant A7 III, and Panasonic's feature-packed Lumix S5 Mark II. So let's break those down. The Canon EOS R8 launched around 1629, offers impressive autofocus and full-width 4K 60 frames per second, but lacks IBIS, dual card slots and a joystick. The Panasonic S5 Mark II, launched at $1599, matches the Z5 Mark II in resolution, stabilization and pro video features, but leans more heavily into video first ethos. The Sony A7 III, still floating around new for roughly $1469, but its once leading AF system and clunky menus are starting to show their age. It also lacks features like pre-capture and advanced subject detection, but I personally own this camera and I still love it to this day. You've also got the Fujifilm X-T5, which launched at $1599, which may tempt hybrid shooters with its 40 megapixel APS-C sensor and stunning stills quality, plus cheaper and more compact lenses, but it's not full frame. Compared to these, the Z5 Mark II is arguably the most well-rounded full-frame camera you can buy under £1,600. It doesn't cut corners on build quality, has a modern autofocus system, usable 4K video, and supports both casual and enthusiast workflows. It's not flashy, but it's reliable. And honestly, in a world full of spec wars, I kind of love that. Let me know in the comments if you tried the Z5 Mark II or if you're still considering it. And don't forget, we've got more Nikon content coming soon, including a video focused purely on wildlife photography with the Z5 Mark II and Z8. We might actually throw in the Z6 Mark III. So make sure you're subscribed for that. You can buy any Nikon product or any camera product in the UK from Wilkinson Cameras. I'll drop the links below so you can check the latest prices. I think this will be a very popular choice, especially for entry-level users who want a camera that can grow with them into a semi-professional standard. If that's you, buy it. You will not regret it, and preferably buy it from us, which you will also not regret. I hope you've loved the sample photos. Let me know in the comments if you like this camera, if you've got any questions or just want to say hello. We love hearing from you guys and we try to reply to you all. Thanks so much for watching and we'll see you very, very soon.